Welcome to LeapScholar. My name is Ravjot Kaur. Today I'm going to talk about another type of question that comes under writing task 2. So today I'm going to take another type of question for agree or disagree. That is, to what extent do you agree or disagree? In the previous video, I explained how to write do you agree or disagree type of question. So the another part of agree or disagree type of question is to what extent. So in this video, I'll introduce this topic, this type of question, how to write, what pattern to follow, how to write the introduction, and how to end the essay with the conclusion. We'll also give you the vocabulary word related to the topic that I have picked. Initially, we'll start exercising with the scale, on the scale of how much do you agree, how much you should disagree, and do you completely agree or you should completely disagree. We'll share a few question types as well and give you a practice question at the end. So let's begin. Okay, let's start with task number 2. That is the another question. So before I begin with the question type that I have picked for today, I would like to talk about these parameters. So these 4 parameters are very important. I always tell this to my students that always go to these parameters before you start writing, before you start practicing, and after you finish your essay writing. So these parameters consist of task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy. Please go through them. These are the band descriptors. So we call them parameters and band descriptors as well. As per the desired scores you're aiming for, please go through the parameters, and the writing is calculated out of 9 bands. If you're aiming for 7 and above, that's what most of the students are looking for, please go through the parameters that are marked here and what you need to do in your writing. So in task achievement, what should be done to achieve band 7? How about coherence and cohesion? The third category is lexical resource, that is your vocabulary. So what kind of vocabulary should be used? And then the grammatical range and accuracy, where you have to understand what kind of sentences should be used, tenses, articles, active, passive, collocations, and complex sentences as well. So please go through these band descriptors before you start writing. And while writing, just keep these band descriptors in your mind to get and to achieve good scores. This will really help you. So this is the question for today. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So irrespective of the question, you always start with the structure. So that this is a structure and this is a common structure for each and every type of question. So whether you talk about do you agree or disagree, or you talk about to what extent do you agree or disagree, or any other type of question, introduction and conclusion will remain same irrespective of the type. The body paragraphs will always be there. So minimum 2 and maximum 3 body paragraphs you can write. So if you wish to add any other body paragraph by any chance, you can certainly add that. So that is about the structure, where we start with the introduction and we end with the conclusion. So in this type of question, you have to think whether you agree, you disagree, or you partially agree. So this question, to what extent, gives us a chance to write partially as well. I've already explained how to write an essay on strongly agreement, or if you want to completely disagree, you can write that essay, and I've done that in the previous video. But here, I would like to talk about how to explain your ideas partially. If you partially agree to the question or to the statement given, how you're going to write. Though introduction and conclusion will remain unchanged, but yes, we are paraphrasing and will definitely write our opinion, that is called thesis statement. So in the viewpoint that is about the body paragraphs, you will certainly explain your points one by one. Let's look at the next slide. So this is a scale I have prepared for you, wherein you can decide how much you agree, how much you disagree on certain topic. And that's the question for today. So the question is, some people think that too much money has been spent looking after and repairing old buildings. So we should knock down old buildings and build modern ones instead. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So do you completely agree? Do you strongly agree to this question? Or you strongly disagree? Or do you think you can give partial agreement or partial disagreement as well? So let's understand this scale in more detail. This is another question. People can become healthier by eating junk food. Just ask yourself, do you agree completely or you disagree? According to me, many of you will not agree to this question. So you might totally disagree. So many of you will fall under this category wherein you'll write whole essay on one thing that is strongly agree. So that is a scale you have chosen. Now, talking about the next question. The best way to improve health is to exercise daily. Do you strongly agree? Do you strongly disagree? Or you partially agreeing to this question? When I say partially agreeing, this means you're disagreeing as well up to a certain extent. So that part should also be mentioned in the essay that I'll show you how to write the body paragraphs in that case. So according to this question, do you agree completely or disagree? That you can decide. But according to me, most of the people might strongly agree that exercising daily is the only way to improve your health. And some of you might partially agree as well because you might have other points to write. Not only exercise, but according to you, might be diet is should also be there, or balanced diet should also be there, should part of your lifestyle. So in order to take care of your health. Now, how about the next question? Doctors should be responsible for educating the people about the healthy lifestyle. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Do you think only doctors are responsible? Some of you will say, yes, you strongly agree. They should help their patients and they should educate their patients as well. So some of you might partially agree with your own reasons. So that is certainly fine because the question is, to what extent do you agree or disagree? So that is a scale you can always think of before you start writing an essay. So plan what points you wish to make for such kind of question, and then you can start writing. Decide and then start writing. To what extent do you agree or disagree? For the question that I've taken, that some people think that too much money has been spent looking after and repairing old buildings, so we should knock down old buildings and build modern ones instead. To what extent do you agree or disagree? So ask yourself, do you agree strongly, do you disagree, or do you partially? So if you wish to write this essay under partially agreement, or that to any question, if you are partially agreeing, then how you will go about it? How will you start writing? So starting with the introduction that remains unchanged, we always paraphrase the question. That is the statement that we are paraphrasing. So when we are paraphrasing, which means that you're writing the sentence, this whole sentence you'll be writing in your own language. So you'll be paraphrasing. Either you can flip the sentences by using the synonyms, you make your own sentence, or you read the whole statement and you write the whole statement in your own language by using different words. So that is called paraphrasing. And then you will give a point, whether you agree or disagree, that we call a thesis statement. So this question will talk about partially agreement. So you will write, I partially agree to the given statement. So your opinion is required because this is an opinion essay. So just take few seconds to think whether this question is an opinion essay or this question is not an opinion essay. Just think about it. So this question is an opinion essay. We have to write our opinion right after paraphrasing. Then once we are done with the introduction, we will then mention the reasons of agreement. So why do I agree? What to a certain extent, I disagree as well. So, what are the reasons that I agree that I'll mention in first body paragraph? In the second body paragraph, I'll give this the other reason for the disagreement. Why I disagree? Because I said I partially agreed. So I disagree as well with the statement. So I write the points for disagreement. And I end the essay with the conclusion. In conclusion, do not explain anything. Do not put example, do not write anything. Conclusion is the crux, or the you conclude your reasons and your key points in conclusion. Let's see the pattern and how to write the introduction and rest of the paragraphs stepwise. Let's start with the introduction. When you're introducing, we have to write the paraphrasing. So this is a paraphrasing that is done. It has been a matter of intense debate for quite some time now as to what should be done with old buildings. Some opine that it is futile to spend money on their restoration and it would be better to build modern ones instead. So that is a paraphrasing. The highlighted words are the vocabulary. To make you understand, these are the vocabulary words that you should use, and you should use them while writing the essay to get good scores under lexical resource. Thesis statement will be your opinion. What do you think? So since I mentioned that I'll be writing on partially agreement, I have written that. So I partially agree with this view. I believe that all buildings which are neither beautiful nor useful should be demolished, whereas those which add character to a place, give it a unique identity, or have a historic significance should be repaired and restored at all costs. So there are two things that will be describing in the body paragraph. So these two things will be described in the body paragraph. So these two key points have mentioned in the introduction. So there are 2 points, that is about the demolition, that is demolished. So old buildings which are neither beautiful nor useful should be demolished. That's the key point number 1. So why this should be done, I'll be explaining it in the first body paragraph. The other thing is that if it has significance, then it should be repaired or restored. That's the another point which I'll be explaining in the other body paragraph. Okay. So whenever you are planning about the question, keep 2 points for yourself. So first key point you will explain in the first body paragraph. Second key point you'll explain in the second body paragraph. And these 2 keywords should be written in the introduction, in your thesis statement, and what you're going to explain in the body paragraph. Alright, let's talk about the body paragraph number 1. Here, we are stating the reason of the agreement. That is all about this first body paragraph. So, we'll write the topic sentence, that is the keyword. If you remember, we read the keyword in the introduction also related to the demolish. So, the same statement, the keyword will be using as a topic sentence here. There are many arguments in favor of demolishing old buildings. That is the topic sentence. We'll explain this topic sentence right after it. The maintenance costs of such buildings which are in a bad shape are much more than the cost of deterioration and building new ones instead. So this is the explanation to this topic sentence. We have to explain our topic sentence right after introducing the key point that you have written in the topic sentence. So once the explanation is done, we will write the example related to it. It is not uncommon to hear news on television that a building in a particular city crumbled, killing a few people. Such buildings should be knocked down, even if they have an emotional value for the owners. So that is the example quoted as per the key point, as per the demolishing thing that has been discussed in the key point. So that is how you will structure the body paragraph. You will write the topic sentence number 1, you'll explain it, and you write the example. So this is the general and the common structure for each and every kind of body paragraph, irrespective of the question that you write. But do remember, if you're talking about agree or disagreement, then you're talking about agreeing one paragraph and disagreeing other if you're partially agreeing. So this whole paragraph is about agree, why we agree, and what is the reason that has explained in 3 sentences: topic sentence, explanation, and example. Similarly, we'll write the another body paragraph about disagreement as well. Let's see how the other paragraph talks about. So the disagreement talks about the topic statement. Again, on the other hand, there are some old buildings which give a unique identity to a place and with a little maintenance can be used effectively even today. Explanation says there are many buildings that have been converted to hotels for tourists. Several places in Jodhpur, Rajasthan have been converted into hotels and are a good source of revenue for the government. We would be losing a lot of our historical and cultural background if we demolish such buildings. So, because that's a disagreement, so the statement is disagreeing to the earlier point of view. Example states that City Palace Udaipur comprises of a number of smaller places within the compound. It is a magnificent piece of architecture and is now serving a good purpose. Again, the highlighted words will help you in generating the vocabulary, and maybe you remember these words but you are not using in your day-to-day life. So please brush up with these vocabulary and use them. So this is the agreement, that is the next paragraph. If you want to write one more paragraph for agreement, you can certainly write another reason also, right after the first reason of agreement. So it says the introduction, reason number 1 of agreement, why you agree. Reason number 2, why you agree. So the reason number 2, why you agree, will also come in the same pattern, starting with the topic sentence, explain it, and then you write the example. Let's see the another reason for agreement. The newer buildings could be made in such a way that they can accommodate more people in that much space. These buildings could also be made to be energy efficient by using newer technologies, which could save a lot of energy later on. For example, double glass panels could be used for insulation and the terraces could be made to accommodate solar panels. All these measures are the need of the hour considering the rapidly occurring climate changes and burgeoning population. So again, these highlighted words are the vocabulary and the collocations if you see. Writing collocations and writing complex sentences, both are really important to get good score in writing. So look at the parameters, you'll understand what these parameters say and what all sentences and things you need to include in the essay to get a good score. So that's the pattern for that. These are the body paragraphs. If you wish to write only one agree point in one paragraph, you can do that. There is no need to write other body paragraph. This I showed in case if you wish to write the third body paragraph, you can certainly write that as well. This is the another paragraph for disagreement and then the conclusion. In conclusion, as I mentioned, you're not supposed to write any explanation, no details are required, no examples, nothing. Only the crux of your opinion and reason together. You can write conclusion in 1, 2, or 3 sentences maximum. Since we're not explaining, it will be quite simple and small as compared to the other paragraphs. In conclusion, the decision to preserve or demolish old buildings should be made after considering many factors. If the old buildings can be used effectively or be made into a tourist attraction or is giving a unique identity to a place, it should be preserved. If a building is occupying a lot of space and is unfit to live in, then it should be demolished. So similar to what was given in the introduction, but yes, sentences and the words are changed here. So when you reach out to the conclusion, please read the question again. Please read your introduction because somewhere the question fades away at the end. It's advisable to read the question and then write the conclusion. So that is all for the body paragraphs and the structure that you should write in this kind of question. To what extent do you agree or disagree if you're thinking to write partial agreement? So this is what it looks like. The first paragraph is the introduction paragraph. Let's revise what we have done so far. So this is the question we done about old building, whether they should be repaired or should be demolished. So this is the introduction part wherein you wrote about the paraphrasing. We paraphrased the statement and we wrote about our opinion. This is the second body paragraph. So this second body paragraph talks about agreement. This is the first reason. This is the second reason of agreement. This is the reason for disagreement. Why you disagree. And then you end it with the conclusion. Okay. So hope this will be helpful for you when you're writing the essay. To what extent do you agree or disagree? And to do you agree or disagree type of question. So in both the types, they're asking they're asking your opinion. So make sure you write your opinion in the introduction because it's really important to put that in the introduction as a thesis statement. Please mention what all pointers you will include in the body paragraphs. Other than this, if you'll not write it, then it will not be clear to the examiner what exactly you're trying to quote. Please stick to the structure that is discussed here. Write the introduction, then the body paragraphs, minimum 2 and maximum 3, and you end it with the conclusion. If I talk about paragraphs only, then if you see all the time, it was introduced first, that was the topic sentence that we call. We explain it and then we give the example. That's exactly what you have to do as well. Okay. This is a vocabulary that you should use in topics like building or historical buildings. These vocabulary words will definitely help you not only in writing but in speaking as well. So in speaking also you may get question describe a historical building or monument. You can use this vocabulary there. But yes, when you will practice this question that we just discussed, please try to put these uncommon words in your essay writing to get good band scores. So I'll read that for you, the vocabulary words. First is antique. Next, primitive, outdated, old-fashioned, that's a collocation. Demolished, tear down, architectural, ancient, historic, preserve, periodic repairs, another collocation. Restoration, intrinsic value, significance of the building. So these all words should be used as per the demand of the sentence. You cannot use these words in any sentence or irrespective of the sentence you're thinking. So please decide which vocabulary you want to put in what sense, and then you can use such vocabulary. Let's look at the practice question. Not only this question you have to do on your own, try to write this, try to practice. Since we have discussed the key points and the structure, please write this question first and then give yourself another question, that is this. So time yourself, give yourself 40 minutes for the task, and you have to write this question minimum 250 words. And yeah, so timer for 40 minutes should be there. Minimum 250 words should be written. There is no upper limit of writing essay in terms of word limit. So you can write as many words as you can, but it's advisable to write 280 and 290 words because we do have time constraint as well. Rather spend more time on planning and revision. That is crucial to do when you're attempting writing tasks. This is the practice question that you can attempt. Think what pointers you can make, what are the keywords that you can write in the introduction, and how you're going to explain those keywords in the body paragraphs, and what pattern you're going to follow. So revise and then you can attempt this question. I'll read this question for you. The qualities a person need to become successful in today's world cannot be learned at a university. or similar academic institution? To what extent do you agree or disagree? So you can again think of a scale and then decide, do you agree completely, do you disagree completely, or you want to give the balanced opinion. So you can do that as well. If you wish to give balanced opinion, you can think about it and write 2 points for agreement and 2 points for disagreement, or 1 point for each paragraph will also do. Make sure you follow the topic sentence, then explanation, and then example. Quoting real-time examples will really help you instead of giving more examples or personalized examples. Hope this lesson was fruitful for you. And please share this video to students, to peers who are appearing for IELTS test and looking for some writing help. These videos will be of great help because we are explaining each and every bit of a structure of essays here. So please go through it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This will be really helpful for you. And if you have any comments to mention, please write it in the comment section. Thank you so much.